Welcome back to another episode of Big Bear Boxing Squad, episode number 41. The conversation I want to get into today is about Terence Crawford and Devin Haney, and the reason why, for two separate reasons why I think they're being frozen out from landing big fights. Take a look at these clips for yourself and make an assessment on each fighter individually.
That's what I did earlier.
You are now the mandatory challenger for Vasily Lomachenko's 135-pound title. Do you believe at 20 years old you're ready for that type of challenge?
I think you said his name wrong. It's Lomachenko.
Do you think Pacquiao at this stage in his career is likely to fight you? Who knows? Hey, that's not up to me. I'm a fighter. That's up to my promoter.
I'm looking for you, Errol. Where you at? I'm in the ocean. You say you the big fish. I'm looking for you.
The climax. Y'all become the fight to watch. That's the build-up. Everything must have a build-up before it explodes.
Let me make an announcement then. We cannot get no fights at 135 from nobody. We will be going to 140.
Do you look forward to fighting him? What's it going to take for you to fight somebody like Thurman, the Errol Spences of the world?
I love to get in the ring with all those other welterweights. You know, if we do, we do. If we don't, it's not.
What's your thoughts about Lomachenko and Kambosos? Do you feel like that might happen and they may try to make you step aside, or?
I don't know. I don't know what may happen. He's saying a lot of different things. One moment is this, one moment is that, one moment is me, one moment is Ryan, one moment is he wants to tank. You know, they don't really have their mind made up on what they want to do. But Team Haney, DHP, Natural, we all know.
So you can hear from Devin Haney, and you can also hear from Terence Crawford and Devin Haney's dad, Bill Haney. I like both fighters. I especially like Bill Haney and how he's directing his son to be very successful. Just want to kind of get that out of the way. But the subject of the video, man, is a big one. I do think they are being frozen out of actually landing big fights for a lot of different reasons, but for two different reasons. I think that Terence Crawford is more self-inflicted. I think that, just some bad business moves. I talked about that in another video, which I won't get too much into. But I think as far as him landing some big fights, I think he's got a better opportunity now that he's a free agent. It's depending on how he handle his business. Who he want to sign for. Do he want to sign with anybody? Do he just want to remain a free agent? I think it's better for him to remain a free agent. He is 34 years old. Time is not on his side. I think he's still got some years, some really good years ahead of him. He hasn't slowed down any. He stays fairly active. But, I want to see some good things from Terence Crawford. I want to see him get the Errol Spence fight. But I think that, that fight could be easily made, though. It just depends on how Terence Crawford want to handle the situation or handle his new situation, which I think is a better situation because everybody that left Top Rank, we all know that they was very successful. Oscar De La Hoya was a very successful person, and Floyd Mayweather was very successful, and everybody else that left after them, those are just the two biggest names that actually left and made their own promotional companies, which I think Devin Haney in his regard, he already has his own promotional company, and Terence Crawford has a promotional company too, but it's up to him whether how he want to use it, whether he want to get an advisor or whatever. I don't think an advisor is bad, but I think staying a free agent, that way nobody can run. But you hear Terence Crawford in a few of those clips. The reason why I really think it's self-inflicted is the way his demeanor is. Oh, well, if I can't get a fight, it's not my fault. If you're a fighter and you really try to put some food on the table and try to make your legacy the biggest that you can make it, you got to be like, hey, man, look, I'm going to fight. I'm going to make a way to get some of these fights. Look at the Pacquiao situation with Floyd Mayweather. That fight took years to get made. And I know sometimes with the business of boxing, you got to, even as fans, we got to be patient for some of these fights. These fights cannot get made overnight. Timing is everything. But on Devin Haney's side, I think he's just being frozen out of these fights. I think more on the business side because they know, like Lou DiBella, he got his fighters, and Eddie Hearn, they know what they're doing. They know what they're doing. They know if they go up against Devin Haney, they're gonna lose. Most likely, they're gonna lose. And I think they freezing them out from becoming undisputed is because they know if their fight, especially Lou DiBella with Kambosos, if Kambosos don't have those belts, that's a less of chance that he's going to have to make money off of Kambosos. So that's how you have to break down that situation. So they looking to, everybody loves Lomachenko. For some, I like Lomachenko too, but he's not that big of a star. I argue with anybody, man. He's a good fighter. I think he's a slightly overrated, in my opinion, because he has taken some losses. That don't mean anything. I still think he's a terrific fighter in a lot of ways too, but I don't think he can beat the top guys. He did not beat Teofimo. He would not beat Tank, and he would not beat Devin Haney. And I think that he could possibly have, even though I do favor him a little bit over Kambosos, but Kambosos could go in there and do the same thing that Teofimo did. So where does that leave Lomachenko? But I think that, Devin Haney has been more consistent with calling fighters out over a lot of other boxers. I don't care what the weight division is in. He has been so consistent on calling the biggest names out. I don't care who it is, Tank, all that stuff. And nobody really in a big rush to fight Devin Haney. And then they say, oh, well, he don't have the numbers to back him. Or he's a good fighter, but it's always a but. If this man is if he's the lightweight champion of the world, you have to give it to him. You have to let him have a chance on becoming undisputed. How's it fair if he has the WBC championship belt, but he can't get the IBF and the other belts, or WBO? How can you say something bad about Devin Haney if you never give him a chance to actually prove himself? So I did another video. I think is for Devin Haney on his side and his issue of being frozen out of fights. Like his dad said, they need to go up to 140. I think there's some fights up there that he can get he can get acquainted with. He can probably take maybe a couple fights to kind of get used to that, acclimated to that weight class. It's a lot of people think that you could just jump up and weight. Yeah, that's true with some fighters. Terence Crawford did it, but Terence Crawford also was not fighting the top guys in the welterweight division either. And that was a little bit on his promotional team's part. I think Terence Crawford would have fought anybody. Like a lot of these fans out here, y'all think that these fighters scared of each other. No, they not. They not. It's just like old school boxing, man. If you lose, win, whatever. Let's get down. Let's get busy. So I don't think none of these fighters are scared of each other, but I think it's just on Terence Crawford's part, I think it's more about business that hasn't got done right. And on Devin Haney's part, I think it's about business too. And I think that's why both fighters are being frozen out. But for two different reasons. But you guys let me know what you think down in the comments below on the reason why you think they've been frozen out and what direction should they take. That's going to conclude another episode of Big Bear Boxing Squad, episode number 41. You guys let me know what you think about this topic and all the other topics that I bring up on my channel. If you want to see what I'm wearing, shoptachi.com. Follow me on all social media platforms that I'm currently on. Links will be down in the descriptions below. Just want to thank you guys like I do every single video. Without you guys, this channel wouldn't be what it is today. And you guys give me a lot of motivation to keep producing the best boxing content that I can possibly give you guys. But with that said, if you old to the channel, new to the channel, please try to make sure you watch the full video so you get a full breakdown of the content. Also, hit the notification bell, subscribe button, like button, all that great stuff. And with that, the channel can grow, and with growth, the conversation of boxing can become even bigger. So with that said, just want to thank you guys again. That's going to conclude another episode of Big Bear Boxing Squad.